In this video, you'll be learning how to complete Guided Practice 1. To get started, you can see I have my NetBeans source code editor open, and we're going to go ahead now and create a new project. And there's a lot of project types that you have that comes with the NetBeans application. I find that Java with Ant is the simplest one to use, so that is what I have highlighted here. So with that highlighted, I go ahead and click Next. Now I want to give my project a name, so I'm going to just call this Guided Practice 1. Click Finish. And you'll see that NetBeans now has created this basic structure then of our new program for us. So notice that it has a package at the top, which is Guided Practice 1. Notice that's all lowercase. And then also it created a new public class for us, which is also named Guided Practice 1. But that's using Pascal case, meaning that it has capitalized the first letter of each of the two words, guided and practice. Now it's also important to know that over here on the left, you'll see that the file name matches that class name. Guided Practice 1.java is the actual file where this source code is going to be stored in, and that's a very important concept of your Java programs, is that the file name must match the class name, both in spelling and in case, because Java is a case-sensitive language. Now at the top of this program, you can see that they have created this comment here, and what we'd like you to do in all of your assignments is to go ahead and put your name in here, the date that you wrote the program, and a description of the program. So add my name. The date we'll say is 9/29/2034. So I'm working in the future at the moment. And this is going to be our Guided Practice number 1 assignment. We can go ahead and get rid of this commented stuff here. And so comments, as you can see, are used basically to identify information within the program that won't actually be read by the compiler when it builds your program. And so there's a couple of ways to do comments. You're seeing both examples here. So the first one is for multi-line comments. We can do /* right in the comment and then end it with an */. For a single line comment, this example here shows you that you've got 2 // and that's followed then by the comment. Now in this case here, I'm not going to use that comment, so we'll just go ahead and get rid of it. For your first guided practice, what I want you to do is just simply create some outputs, some string output to the console. To do that, we use a method that's in the system library, system.out.print. So print is the actual method there. And then in parentheses and in quotes, just type in hello, this is, and your name. Now you notice I get a red squiggly here. That's because the source code editor is identifying to me that I haven't written this statement entirely correctly. And it's not that I have mistyped any of the words here, but what it is I haven't completed it with a semicolon. So in Java, when you're writing a statement, you will always end it with a semicolon. Notice that's a little bit different than from this main method that we're working in here. So a method is like the actions that we want to perform within the program, and the statement are the individual steps then of that action. So the methods, you can see, begin first of all with public, in this case static void, and we'll get to some of these key words a little bit later on, explain them a little deeper for you. But you must always have a main method in order for your program to run. And then methods a lot of times will accept parameters, and so you can see that you have the method name and then a set of parentheses, the parameters in between those parentheses. The body, and that's called the signature of the method, by the way, that portion right there. Then the body of the method, in other words, the individual tasks, the individual statements that we want to define for that method, they get encapsulated, enclosed inside of an open curly brace and a closed curly brace. In fact, you notice when I highlight the open curly brace, the source code editor identifies the closing curly brace. And this is one of the biggest problems that new programmers have, is keeping track of the curly braces and making sure that all open curly braces have a matching closing curly brace. So notice that that entire structure there, the method main with its open and closing curly and the task inside of it, is itself encapsulated inside of our class, which is also a structure in Java. Since it's an object-oriented environment, everything has to be built inside of a class. And it has an open curly brace to define the beginning portion, the beginning of the body of the class. And then notice down here a closing curly brace to identify the end of the class. So anytime that you're creating structures that have bodies, which you're going to place other components inside of, you'll always have an open curly brace and a closed curly brace, and you want to make sure that you don't overlap your curly braces. So just make sure that you always have a matching closing curly brace, and it should always be surrounding the contents that you're placing inside of that structure. So the class is one structure. It has inside of it a method called main, and main is another structure. It's called a method. And it has a statement inside of its curly braces, just a single statement at this point. Then within the method itself, this parameter here, so we're using a method that comes built into the Java class library, which is print. And the main method, we were talking about its parameters here, and methods don't always have parameters, but in the case of main, it's allowing for a string array to be passed into it and be named args, A-R-G-S. In the case of our print method, what we're passing into the method is our string here, the text that we want to have it display on the screen in the console. And so that goes between a set of double quotes. Now, strings with multiple characters goes inside of double quotes, whereas you'll learn about a different data type later on. So string is a data type. Another data type is the char, which is an individual character, and individual characters will always go inside of single quotes. So strings inside of double quotes, individual characters inside of single quotes. So what we're doing here is we're just saying take this string value, print it to the console. So let's go ahead now and run it. We'll see here it has been built. There's the output then of our program down here in the console window. And you'll notice that right after the string that we asked it to print to the console, it says build successful, total time, and it took 0 seconds to actually build it and run it, compile it and run it. But preferably, I'd rather have that build successful line underneath of the text that I am displaying to the screen. So there's a couple of ways that we can do that. One is within our string, we can use what's called an escape character. And escape characters are defined by using a backslash character. That's the key right above your enter key on your keyboard. And then N for new line. So now when we run this program, notice it does exactly what we want it to do, which is it moves that build successful down to the next line. That's what the escape character, the backslash N, does for us. Another way to do that is that there's also a different method that's available to us within the Java library, which is print LN. So that's like using the escape character, but that stands for print line, meaning print out the line and then move the cursor down to the next line. So that itself is not an escape character. Escape characters are always backslash in some character. So here we're just using a different method. It's the print line method, the print LN method. We'll go ahead and run that, and you see we get exactly the same results. The build successful underneath of the text that we wanted to have printed to the console. Another type of escape character that you might want to use from time to time is a tab character. So that's going to be \T for tab. So a lot of times when you're wanting to do numeric values and line them up in columns, it becomes helpful to use the tab escape character. So you'll see that we can go ahead and run this, and now the output's going to be a little bit different because now we have that tab space occurring between hello and this, and then between this and is. Which it doesn't want to, there we go. Didn't want me to select it. So \T for tab characters, \N for line feeds. So for your guided practice, what I'd like you to do is just take this one more step, which is to output the line, hello, this is in your name, and then on a new line, I would like it to say, Java is fun. So give that a try, and that's what you'll actually want to paste into your guided practice 1 assignment in Canvas. If you run into any issues, certainly send me an email or post a Canvas message, or go into the help discussion forum or the discussion forum for Unit 1. And hopefully, if you put it in the discussion unit for Unit 1, hopefully another student can help you out and have an opportunity to earn some extra credit points for doing so. But if you put it into an email or a Canvas message directly to me, then I'll certainly see if I can help you out as well. So that's it for your guided practice 1 video. Till next time, happy coding.